I think preparing for a mission is super important. Every day, like whether it's before your mission or during your mission, like preparation is just super important. I've heard the saying, when it's like time to play the game, the time for preparation has passed. And so, I mean, not necessarily for your mission, like that preparation hasn't passed. So prepare every single day, like with personal study, with your language study, with companionship study, but just like that preparation before your mission, like spiritually, physically, all those things, like are super important. I think personally, knowing the scriptures, like especially when you're about to go, like personally, when I went to Hong Kong, you're about to go teach them in Chinese. If you already know them in English, it makes it so much easier because you don't have to like start to memorize it in English and then have to be able to go into Chinese after you remember it in English. You just know it in English and you go, okay, then you look for it in Chinese, which was made it a little bit easier for me. The MTC, like back when I went in, you were like, when you learn Cantonese, you were there for 12 weeks. And that was rough. It was a long time to stay in a small area. Luckily now, I think they're in there for a 9. I don't think any language is in there for longer than 9 now. But MTC is like a small place. You're in there, 24/7. You're with the same people all the time. Even like in the mission village, you have a companion. MTC, you're with a group of group of missionaries all together. And I think personally for me, because the area was so small, it was pretty tough actually. A lot of my people in my same group they'd tell I had the roughest time probably or something like that, or like I'd complain the most about the MTC. But I remember you just have to like find things in the MTC that really just like get your spirits up. For me, like whenever I'd have a tough day in the MTC, luckily all the food is all you can eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they have every single meal. They actually have cereal that you can go get, and one cereal that they have is blueberry muffin top cereal. And so whenever I had a bad day, I would go and I just pound the blueberry muffin top cereal, and like as mission people, like sorry, as members, like we think like missionaries, like they're always happy, they're always having a great day, but it's not like that. You're still human. You still have a tough day, tough time and stuff like that. And so finding those things that on a tough day that are going to help you are so important. It's in the MTC, in the field, like all those things. And for me, the MTC was actually like personally the hardest part of the mission. Just because I felt trapped. I felt like I was so close to home, couldn't go home, couldn't see my friends, adjusting to that missionary life, that finding those things that, those like simple joys, like for me were like really important in the MTC that I liked, so.